Welcome to Amazing Business Radio with best-selling author and customer service and business expert, Shep Hyken. Shep will talk with some of the smartest thinkers in business to help make you more successful in your professional and personal life. This is Amazing Business Radio with Shep Hyken.
Hello, everybody. It's Shep Hyken here. We're back with another episode of Amazing Business Radio. Very excited today because we have Temy Mancusi-Ungaro, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Reachdesk. You'll learn all about Reachdesk in a moment, but the focus on today is about recognition of your customers and recognition, especially of your employees. We'll get to that in just a moment. Before we get into the interview, a couple of quick announcements. If you've got an amazing story that you want to share or a question for me, please reach out to me on any of the social media channels. I am really everywhere: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. I'm there, and I will answer the question either there on this show, in my newsletter, or on my TV show, which is Be Amazing, or Go Home. And you can get episodes there from Amazon Prime, Roku, and you can now pick them up at beamazing.tv. That's beamazing.tv. And you can just log on, look at it, watch it, enjoy it. I can't wait for you to experience it. And please reach out to me and let me know what you think. All right, time to jump into our interview. Temy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shep. Happy to be here.
Well, I'm excited to be here because as I learned more and more about Reachdesk, and really what you do is you've created a gifting platform, and that's what I call it, a platform, where it can be an individual gift or scaled out to customers. But I was really impressed when you talked about, and you can see it on your website, which I believe it's reachdesk.com. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Good. We'll get that out of the way right in the beginning of the show here. But on Reach, you mentioned how important it is for employees to be recognized as well. And I love your idea that, your happy employees really translates into happier customers, more engaged employees taking care of customers, and more. So give us a little bit more background. I know you've only been around for about 3 years, but boy, have you made some incredible growth strides during that time.
Yeah, no, thank you, Shep. So as you mentioned, Reachdesk is one of the fastest growing gifting platforms in the world. We were started in the UK. And the original founders found that they were spending a lot of money on gifts. And so you saw this huge bottom line. And yet the sales team kept saying, we need more. And so Reachdesk was built out of the idea of how can we help teams send out gifts in mass at high scale, but measure the impact of those gifts as well, so that when you go back to your CFO or whoever's approving that budget, you can say, hey, we spent a lot of money on gifts, but look at the impacts we have. And so Reachdesk was built as the first global platform. So we send gifts anywhere in the world. So you can pick anything from an e-card. So if you want to send out an Amazon gift card or a Starbucks card or a Dunkin' Donuts card to invite someone to a meeting, you can do that with Reachdesk. We also have one of our key differentiators we talked about was a personalized marketplace. So you can pick out a wine bottle and you can put someone's name on it or a message. You can pick out cupcakes and you can put their company logo on it. You can take a mug and one-off customize it right to that person with their name on it. And I think we all know that when you have gifts and you're getting gifts in the mail, the ones you're going to keep are the ones that really resonate with you. So we can do personalized marketplaces. And then the last is we have warehouses all over the world. So if you have swag and stuff that has your name and brand on it, and you're tired of having it sit in your living room now that people have brought that stuff back home, you can send it into Reachdesk and we can ship it to you anywhere in the world. And best of all, we will track it. We'll let you know when it got there, and we'll be able to tie that gift back to the action we're looking. So was a prospect closed? Was a customer saved? Or was an employee delighted and retained?
Wow. That's very impressive. Now, you and I have a mutual friend, John Rulin, and John has been on the show, I think, at least a couple of times. He is an expert in gifting. He actually wrote a book titled Giftology, and it's all about using gifting as marketing and sales techniques. I love that you're taking it to the internal side of things, because really our show is about creating a great customer experience. And I know that gifting, if you send a gift to grab somebody's attention, it could be considered marketing, but at the same time, it really is part of the whole experience that they receive. Something that you just mentioned, and I know John's answer to this, so I want to hear your response. you talked about how we can put company logos. Here I'm referring to myself as if I'm part of Reachdesk. Okay. How
Hopefully
you put company logos on a cupcake, but not your company's logo, the customer's logo.
That's exactly right.
And yet we also talked about briefly, you mentioned swag being in warehouses, and that's usually the company that's giving it away, the swag, not the customer's logo or the outsider's logo. So what is your position on putting logos on products?
Sure. And I'm glad you mentioned John and Giftology, because it's a book that all the execs here at Reachdesk read. And a big thing that he talks about is and what we believe in is the personalization of the gift and the message. So it's not just what you send, but it's how you send it, how you tie it back to the person. And so, as you mentioned with a logo, if I sent you something with my logo, it doesn't nearly resonate as much as if it's your logo. And we want to give you a gift that you're going to have, you're going to hold, you're going to put on your desk. And so when someone walks in and they see that whiskey bottle and it has your name and your company logo on, they're like, wow, where did you get that from? And you'll remember that connection you had with Reachdesk. In terms of swag, I think swag and it depends on the relevancy. And so we help our customers create campaigns. And so if you have the right campaign, even if it's your own logo, if you're able to tie that message in, again, it's creating a gift. I think it's really important that you create a gift that someone wants. So, rather than, we were really big, and rather than selling a generic water bottle, selling that Swell water bottle, because that's the one that everyone wants or the Yeti mug, because that's what people go out and buy. And so if you have that mug and it has your logo on it, you can get by. It's even better if you put their logo on it. But where you want your own logo, and what we were talking about employees, is in your employee onboarding packages. And so that's a great use case where you would have your own logo and putting together a care package that has, the notebook and the water bottle and the hoodie. And those are the places where having swag and your own logo is very effective, which is on your employee base. In fact, we've even seen a trend where businesses, and we help our customers do this, businesses create portals of their own swag, their own logo on it, and other people want to buy it. So, whether it's an outreach or a sales loft hoodie, people are actually going on and buying this merchandise with the company's logo of the companies that they love. And so we help enable that as well.
Wow. So all kinds of interesting things. Yeah. One of the coolest concepts that John talks about is when you put your customer's logo or whoever it is, maybe it's your customer's or employee's name on something.
Right.
And by the way, we joked about this just before we started the show that John loves to sell Cutco knives. John is actually, I don't know if you realize this, the #1 Cutco knife salesman in the world. And for those that don't know, Cutco knives, it's a great product. It's a great knife, first of all, but it's basically direct sales. And my son came home one day, I think, was he still in high school? I think he needed a summer job. It was like his senior year. And I said, you need a job. Otherwise, how are you going to eat? What do you mean? I live here. I go, yeah, but you got to eat and you're going to pay for something here. I don't remember what it was. Trying to teach him some responsibility. And he comes back. He says, well, I got a job. I hope you're okay with this. And he said it was Cutco. And I go, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's the best job you could have. He goes, really? Why? I said, because if you could sell Cutco knives, which is door-to-door sales, that's communication. That's relationship building. That's empathy. That's personality. It's an amazing experience. All right. But this isn't about Cutco knives. But when I received a gift from John, when he first came to St. Louis, we met. And as a thank you, he sent me a gift. And it was a chef's knife, a Cutco chef's knife. And on the blade, it could have had his logo, but it didn't. It said, specially made for the kitchen of Shep and Cindy, my wife. Mm-hmm. Wow. Every time I use this knife and I cut myself, I say, that son of a gun, John. No, every time I use the knife, I think of John. And that's part of the beauty of the right type of gift. It's not a meaningless gift. It was connected to me emotionally.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And you can buy Cutco knives. Anyone can buy Cutco knives, but you have to look for that option to personalize it. And that's what we're looking for. So we have over 500, we have a marketplace of 4,000 gifts, but over 500 of them can be personalized down. So you can create an individual item for that person. Again, their name, their logo, and then also having a note. So it's also really important that there's a note attached to it as well. So it's not just, you don't want to just get a box in the mail from Amazon with that little square note, right? You want something that looks handwritten and goes along with it. And And again, we know the whole point of the gift is that it's the thought that counts. It's the meaning that you put behind it. And you said it's creating that personal connection. And gifts are just incredibly powerful at that. Even with all the digital stuff that we're going through, getting something in the mail, something tangible that you will have, and that, again, something you want to keep is just so impactful.
Right. Love it. Love it. All right. Let's move from the customer to internal, the workplace. How workplaces can create company morale through gifting. This is a main theme of yours on your website. I'd love to get your insights on this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, I think we've all been part of this, this hybrid migration where people have moved from seeing everyone every day in the office to now either being fully remote or partially remote. And we picked up on that at Reachdesk, and every business is seeing it, where the relationships that we used to forge, being day in, day out next to each other, are more disparate because we're all over the world. And so it's harder and harder to build relationships. And we have found that gifts, in the same way that we use gifts to build relationships for sales, we found that you can use gifts to build relationships with your employee base. And it's not just the gift. It's not sending everybody a $5 coffee card, though that's very generous. It's that doesn't make the move. It's finding the right time to send the gift. So we talk about building moments that matter. And so it's about finding the right moments for your employees and making sure that you're rewarding those. And some of the key moments that every employee is thinking about, whether you are or not, is their birthday. And the birthday is very important to them. If you're able to recognize that day and reward them on that day, ideally, imagine you could send personalized cupcakes with their name on it, or maybe even their photo. You can do that with Reachdesk. Every birthday, that's the thought that counts. The other one is their anniversary. So they're always thinking about, how long have I been in this company? Okay, it's been another year. It's been a second year. And we've helped some customers build some really incredible campaigns where they're creating different gifts for every anniversary, gifts that build on top of each other. We have a company that builds Legos and they connect to each other. We have another one that has different blocks for every year and they build on each other. And so how do you do this at scale globally, which Reachdesk enables you to do? And then the big moment I think we all know about is when you join a company. And so you're very proud, you join this company, you're really happy about it. We're helping businesses create that welcome into the company. So you can't be in the office, but you can have the office come to them and build that handwritten note in a box with some swag that let them know that, hey, they're part of something bigger. Yes, you're sitting at your desk, but you're part of a bigger company.
Wow, I love that. There's so much there. I think the way to get people engaged, and I realize right now my team is going to be listening to this as they edit and get ready to create the show notes, and they're going to wonder, what's Shep going to get me for my first or second or third year anniversary at the company and my birthday? Oh man, I'm in trouble now if I don't do it right. Hey, let's take a short break. When we come back, I know everybody can't see this. This is an audio interview, but behind me are two guitars, one of which was a gift. I want to tell you about that. And we'll talk more about how you can create a better workplace environment. And we want to talk about how to treat customer experience and employee experience as equals. This is Amazing Business Radio. We are talking with Temy Mancusi-Ungaro, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Reachdesk. We will be right back. Don't go away. Hi, Shep Hyken, your customer service and experience expert, and I'm excited to tell you about my new book, I'll Be Back, How to Get Customers to Come Back Again and Again. Now, this book is packed with idea after idea on how to, just as the title implies, get your customers to come back. In the book, you'll learn that repeat customers aren't always loyal customers. Now, both are great, but there's a big difference. You'll also learn about 10 reasons a customer may stop doing business with you and 3 reasons you would stop doing business with them. And one of my favorite lessons is a 6-step process for creating an I'll Be Back strategy. Of course, there's much, much more. You'll start getting more of your customers to say, I'll be back almost immediately. Just go to www.illbebackbook.com. Again, that's www.illbebackbook.com.
You're listening to Amazing Business Radio with best-selling author and customer service and business expert, Shep Hyken.
We're back on Amazing Business Radio. We are talking with Temy Mancusi-Ungaro, who is the CEO of Reachdesk. It's all about gifting. And behind me in my office, most people think, oh, they're looking at my home because I have 2 guitars there. I actually have a guitar lamp, but that doesn't count. By the way, that was a gift from my mother. But the other 2 guitars are one is an electric guitar. It's a very nice Fender Strat, fairly expensive guitar. On it is a logo, and it is a logo of the National Speakers Association. And when I was president of NSA, I traveled internationally and basically gave them, 10 years of being on the board, but that 1 year where I traveled around the world visiting members literally in South Africa and Europe and Singapore, Malaysia and England and France and all over the world, South America, everywhere, Canada. They gave me that as a gift. And when they gave it to me, it had the NSA logo, National Speakers Association. By the way, I always say that NSA is National Speakers Association, not the Security Administration. They're the people that listen. We're the ones that talk. But they said, hey, do you want the logo was just a decal that they could pull off. And they said, we know you're into guitars, you play music, and I do, I'm very serious about it, but we didn't want to ruin the guitar with the logo if you didn't want it. I said, what are you talking about? This is like a memento of a major part of my life. So definitely. So they took it back and they had it really painted into the guitar. The other one, which by the way, expensive guitar. The other one behind it is an acoustic guitar. Not very expensive at all. And it has my name engraved on it and etched on it. And I did a favor for a friend who had an event. And at the last minute, it was a major company that had this event. Their CEO got sick. And I'm in the audience. They said, please come backstage. Can you fill in? Just do your thing. And I did. And how much? Oh, don't worry about it. I'm not going to try. I'm already here. That kind of thing. That's what I do. Right. And I received this guitar in the mail. And they said, we know it's not an expensive guitar like you usually have, but it has your name on it. So we hope you don't throw it away. I love that guitar. What a special gift. Both of them. They're in my office. I see them every day. And I always think about where they came from. Yeah.
And I think you played on just so many things in what you said. I think first understanding who you are and understanding your love of music and giving you a gift that's relevant to you. Creating that connection. I think we talked about the name and the customization and making something that's unique that, as you said, you will never throw away. That's what I was saying. If it has your name on it, that's the one you're never going to throw away. What I love as well is the stories. And so, as you say, it's each of these things helps you remember back to a story, helps you. I can see you talking and the personal connection and how it's building back and your fondness for all the people on the other line. And it starts to be so much less about business and so much more about that personal connection you have with them that you'll always have as long as you have that gift.
Well, thank you. And I think that's a great example. And by the way, if you take the word love for music and my passion for music and substitute, we know he loves car racing. He loves riding his bike. She loves whatever. It doesn't make any difference. Substitute that word for music and then think about all the words you just described and the way I was expressing myself around that gift. And that's what I think your customers and your employees will experience and they'll talk about in that way. So, by the way, the cheap guitar, I just said, I got to see just when they said it wasn't a good guitar, I just wanted to see just how cheap it was. Ironically, it feels like a cheap guitar. Okay. But it plays and sounds like a $5,000 guitar. It has the most incredible sound. Every once in a while, you get lucky with a piece of wood. So the company was called Mancrate. Are you familiar with Mancrate?
No.
Check it out. It's gifts for men. Okay. Mancrate. And it came in a big, huge wooden crate, which I'm sure at only $200 for this guitar, the crate was probably about $80 of the $200.
Sure.
So it really was a cheap guitar, but here it is. I play it all the time. I love it and I use it. But and Mancrate is all about those specialty gifts like that, gifts that men like. Anyway, on your website, the marketplace, one of the cool gifts I noticed came from Germany. It was a picture, and in the picture, it looked like a heart. But if you got close, the heart was made up of a bunch of photographs, and it could be the perfect gift to give the executive who has been there for 10 years and pictures of all the people he or she works with and the employee's first year anniversary. And it wasn't that expensive. And every one of these prints comes with the black frame.
Well, and what we're doing is we're also sourcing this stuff all locally. You mentioned it wasn't expensive. Like we're helping support small businesses. So we're trying to find the businesses that are in that region so you can buy it very affordably and you can get it to people with you also mentioned that crate, that lower carbon footprint is really important to us as well. So it's kind of, you get the gift, you support a business, you create the thought and you help the environment. That's kind of what we're trying to bring all together.
All right, let's talk about the way to treat customer experience and employee experience as equal entities. I know that's a big, important mantra of yours. So share your insights there, please.
Yeah. So, prior to Reachdesk, I was a chief customer officer for, a couple of years. And before that was leading a client success team. And, the thing that I found is that to create great customer service, you have to have a very happy employee base. And what I found is the more I invested in my employees, the better my customer service was. And so, we've discovered that, having, your employees need to feel safe, they need to feel supported, and they need to feel connected. And finding that we can use a gift for all sorts of different things. I talked about using gifting to recognize certain occasions that are important to them and making sure that you can show your appreciation for them. But there's also occasions where someone might work late and you can send a gift. You can send them an Uber Eats card for a dinner tonight, and finding those special ways of building connections so that your employees feel connected, but also inspired and supported in terms of helping your customers. And again, I think it's about investing in your people. And if you invest in your people, your customers will feel it, and your business will ultimately feel it in the end.
Right. No doubt that great recognition of both employees and your customers will change the way you think, but especially internally. You've already said, the happy employee is a more engaged and happier employee, and also stays longer. And this, to your point that you made earlier in the show, if you are dealing with a hybrid workforce or a remote workforce, people become disconnected with your company just because they aren't there. It doesn't mean they want to be disconnected. It's just natural that they start to recognize the job as a job and not part of a business, a career. And it's so important to make people feel as if they are part of something, and something as simple as a inexpensive gift, swag, that type of thing. That gets them excited.
I mean, you think about it, we're all going to work and we're just logging into a computer and staring at our computer all day. How much more impactful would it be if you had a phone charger with the company's logo next to it, or if you're wearing the hat or the shirt? It helps you remember that you're part of something that's bigger. It's a thought that counts. And this is also very hard to do. If you have to remember all your employees' birthdays and when they are, and send out something 7 days in advance, and make sure that it all gets there on time and track all the back, it's just very, very hard to do. So, we've tried to use the system that we built for driving sales to help businesses reward their employees. And we're seeing that, again, great employees are leading to better retention, and better retention is ultimately, helping the value of the businesses we're supporting.
I might also throw out that you do not mark up any of the items that you, have I already mentioned this? I may have already mentioned it, but you don't. I think that's important. I think earlier in the show, you mentioned you support local businesses. So really it's a campaign, and it is not expensive to do the management of all of this. So highly advise everybody to check out reachdesk.com.
Yeah, no, thank you, Shep. And we just believe so much in our customers and helping our customers be successful. We want to make sure that we're saving them time, we're saving them money, and we're helping the planet in the process.
Excellent. All right, we are down to the last question, the final question, the one thing question. What is the one thing that you want to make sure everybody remembers and knows, the one last nugget of information you want to share?
Yeah, thank you, Shep. I think it's going back to what I said. I think it's the people that really matter in everything. And whether the difference between a good and a great business comes down to the people, and it comes down to recognizing people, rewarding your people, and keeping your people. And, I've never found a dollar wasted on our people internally. In fact, I found that every dollar I spend on my people is $10 in return. And so I just, we can get so overwhelmed with everything else going on. I think remembering the people and building that connection, making sure that they feel rewarded and supported is super important, and more important now than ever.
Well, if I could say boom, big, I would. Boom, because for every dollar you spend on your people, you get $10 in return. That is huge. Temy, thanks for being on Amazing Business Radio. It's been a great interview, very insightful, and very excited. I'm gonna learn more about what you do. I'm very intrigued, and I believe everybody listening should do the same. So thanks for being on the show.
Look for something in the mail.
Okay, thanks. All right, everybody, that wraps it up. Another interview, another amazing show. Please come back next week. We'll have another great guest. And until that time, this is Shep Hyken reminding you to always be amazing.